But first, the breaking news is a new opinion poll is a new low for the Liberal Party, a new high for One Nation. Now, Sunday night is, generally speaking, during the footy season, the time when you know what's really going on when it comes to your footy team. They've either won by a lot, won by a little, or got, beaten by a little or thumped by a lot. And on Sunday night, this Sunday night, at the start of November, let's be realistic. The Coalition's primary vote is now 24%. One Nation's has now doubled to 15%, which is a phenomenal result. Big movement, which is happening on the right of Australian politics. I cheer it on because you know that I want more One Nation senators, keeping it real in the Senate. Labor, basically where it was at the election, at 36%. Once you put it together with the Greens, before you even start to get to the Teals, Independents or anyone else, they are sitting very pretty, which is why the ugliest thing I can show you tonight, apart from my mug, is the two-party preferred. The election was in May. In November, there is no buyer's regret. 55-45 was the two-party preferred after the May election that produced, 90-something seats, massive change in Australian politics. Yes, by preferences, but still. In the end, there's a choice between one government, one opposition, or an opposition that becomes the government that becomes the opposition. Again, 55-45 is what it was. Put simply, the right of Australian politics has shrunk. Yes, there's been big movements and there's been a big surge in One Nation, but the collective left of Australian politics has grown. So the footy score that was massive a few months ago is getting bigger. That's just the truth. Not here to play games, but to tell you the truth. In terms of preferred Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, problems and all, 54% is the preferred Prime Minister. Sussan Ley, 27%. 19% of people still remain uncommitted. If all of them walked across the road, you would still have a majority of Australian voters backing in this terrible Prime Minister. And a government that, in our view, has made an awful lot of mistakes, but according to the polls, no, zero, bugger all, buyer's remorse, which would mean they're all going to feel very pretty, very happy as the political year comes to an end. The difficulties for the right of Australian politics will only get more difficult. I wish I could open with happier tones on a Sunday night. It may annoy some that I mention this, but it is just the reality. In the same way that there's a lot of people that are blind to the politics of the United States, where you base everything off the media, well, there's polls, and we'll get to those this week, that will actually tell us what is happening a year after the presidential election. Well, less than a year after our prime ministerial, not election, but our federal election, again, the collective left is now bigger than the records that it was able to pull up on that particular day. We'll talk about the surge in One Nation with Lee Hansen, who is in part leading the future of the party, and particularly in Tasmania. Massive news about Tasmania and One Nation. And remember, with only a 6-week campaign, she almost got there in the Senate. Imagine what a 3-year campaign is going to, fingers crossed, hopefully do. The great Lee Hansen talks about the surge in One Nation and the future of the right of Australian politics. She's a winner, and we'll get to her in a couple of minutes' time.